last week, we covered that German lady who, the
Yep.
95-year-old lady who was sentenced to a year of jail. This is a UK story, and
Oh, yep.
they don't mess around with guns for sure, and even knives. They're pretty serious about this. This is from the
Yep.
Washington Post. Man sentenced to prison for carrying 6-inch replica Zelda sword. And you can see it here. The actual blade itself we're going from 9 to 4. So it's like
Hmm.
5 inches of the actual blade, maybe 6 inches, and altogether it's like 8 inches or whatever. And
Yep.
and I'm not saying you couldn't hurt somebody with this, but I mean
For
it's
sure you
clearly a
could.
toy
Hmm. No,
or a
the
novelty thing.
UK.
Not a toy necessarily, but it's a novelty item.
No, I know what you mean. And the UK has like this huge thing with stabbing. They have a stabbing epidemic right now, so they don't allow knives at all besides like kitchen knives in the UK now because of it.
Yeah. So London. A man in Britain has been sentenced to 4 months in prison and a fine of $200 after wielding a replica sword from The Legend of Zelda Nintendo computer video games on the street. Does that just not sound like AI? From The Legend of Zelda Nintendo computer video games on the street. Anthony Bray, 48, was named by Warwickshire police this week and sentenced for being found in possession of a bladed article in public, police said in a statement. The article in question was a small replica of the Master Sword from the Legend of Zelda games, which had a total blade length of 6 inches, police added. The Master Sword is a signature weapon that is frequently featured in the Legend of Zelda series and a recognizable prop in the game franchise released in the 1980s that is enjoyed by gamers globally. The sword features a blue and yellow handle and a sheath that has the ability to vanquish evil and destroy magical barriers, according to fan websites of the game. Um, Britain has one of the lowest gun homicide rates in the world and some of the strictest gun laws, including comprehensive background checks. However, knife crime remains an issue with more than 50,000 offenses involving a sharp instrument
Hmm.
recorded by police in the year ending March 2023, according to government data. It is illegal to carry most knives in public in the UK without a good reason. There are a small number of exceptions, including folding pocket knives that have a cutting edge no longer than 3 inches. I mean that literally is a pocket knife. Like that's a tiny blade. That's all
Hmm.
you get. And
Yep.
this is the guy. This is the guy that had a video game sword, and they're giving him 4 months. It's like, is that all it takes in the UK? Is a 6-inch blade and like one or maybe two shitty neck tattoos, and they're like, this guy, we gotta hit him with the book.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Like they do have a problem with knife violence, but apparently when you ban guns, then people just find different ways to hurt each other.
Yeah. But and then this part's wild to me because so it sounds like he didn't even actually encounter the police with this. It was after the fact they like did an investigation to get this guy for having a
Oh my gosh.
novelty blade. But police said they approached Bray after CCTV footage showed him walking in the center of Nuneaton, a market town in central England, on June 8th with something in his hand. Bray argued that the sword was being used as a fidget, a toy that he had purchased to keep his hands busy, according to the police statement. Officers tried to explain to Bray that despite its intended purpose, it was in fact a sharply pointed item which could be used as a weapon and might put others in fear of it being used against them, the statement added. So they're just, by the book. That's all they're going to do. I could get the fine. To me, it's just 4 months, and you don't have any other reason. No extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, you think they would just like take away the weapon and then maybe give him a
Hit him with
heftier
the
fine or
fine.
something. Yeah, like and the
Yeah,
point is like if you would have like had any malicious intent, I could see the thing, but there's obviously no malicious intent. Like it seems ridiculous that you're gonna lock someone up when there's actual problem with it. Like I get it, but like that's not to say he's gonna do that and maybe he honestly didn't know about the law, or even if he did, I know ignorance to the law is not an excuse, but it's just ridiculous that you're gonna punish him that hard for something that he probably just thought was cool. You know what I mean?
yeah. In police interviews, Bray underscored that he had no intention of using the elaborate sword as a weapon. Police said, although he acknowledged that it could be perceived as threatening by others, we take a zero tolerance to bladed articles in public, and Bray has fallen afoul of this, said Sergeant Fern Spellman. Just kind of a sick name, I gotta be honest. Fern Spellman?
Very
Of the Patrol
English.
Investigations Unit, it is. It is possible to find fidget toys that aren't 6-inch blades. It is possible to not walk down the street holding them out in front of you, she added. A Warwickshire police spokesperson told the Post by email Thursday that the replica Master Sword has been destroyed as
Yeah,
if it
just
was a
do that and give
nuke.
him a fine. Just do that and give him a fine. There's no reason to lock someone up for a toy. Like, that is ridiculous.
There are significant concerns about serious violence involving bladed articles in Warwickshire, he said, with several incidents recently in Nuneaton, one of which is reported to have led to the sad loss of a young man's life in the town centre. So, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Ye
you guys are free to govern yourself how you want. I guess I just would rather have a vague fear that maybe it's potentially possible I will die to gun or knife violence and, live in a freer country. To me, I would
yeah,
take that trade. And I don't even really like guns or knives or anything like that. I don't know. It
there's
seems
just
like a
no
better, less intrusive government to live under. Not to say
no
we don't have
it
an intrusive government.
Mhm. No, I know what you mean, and the thing is too, it's just like you're when you ban stuff, you're just giving the upper hand to the criminals, because the criminals will still always have access to those things. That's always my big argument towards all those things. Like, it doesn't make any sense because then you're just not allowing people to protect themselves then.
Yeah, I feel like I remember here in Chicago specifically has it really bad because they
Yep,
have like strict gun laws in the city,
yep,
but not in the
yep,
rest of
but yet it's
Illinois or the other states
yep.
or something like that.
Yep, but the thing is too in Chicago, they are like out of the major US cities, like I'm talking like the top 5 big dogs, they're the only one on the top 10 list for worst violent crime because like most of the time when you have a big city, all the good people that don't stab and shoot each other even it out with the people that do. So it's usually like mid-sized cities or like cities around like 200 to 600,000 that are usually maybe even a little small, like 100 to 500,000 people. Those are the cities that you usually see in the top for violence because it is less people. So if you have people committing crimes, they are higher. But Chicago is one of the few cities that's major that's on that list, and they ban guns. So just think about it like that. That's kind of a good point.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I guess, like I said, they can govern themselves how they want. Obviously, who the fuck am I to say? Kind of this,
Yeah,
sometimes it's annoying where it's because so many people like to comment on American politics because it's just kind of a bigger stage. Sometimes you just want to say, "Shut the fuck up! You don't live here. You don't know anything or whatever." And I'm sure the UK people could say that to me here, but that's just my honest reaction to it. Is just it seems like a lot. It seems
it
like very
it
governmenty.
it very much does. But I think Europe's a little bit more like that than we are here. We're a lot more libertarian.